Greetings from Travel Destinations. The United States is often hailed as a global superpower, celebrated for its economic strength and cultural reach. Yet beneath the surface of its success, a range of social issues continues to persist. This documentary shifts focus to one of the most pressing challenges in the heart of one of its most iconic states, homelessness in New York. From the vibrant streets of Manhattan to the more peaceful corners of Staten Island, over 350,000 people struggle to find shelter each night. And this crisis not only impacts those who face it directly, but also exposes the deep economic and social inequalities throughout the city. From the towering skyline of Manhattan to the tranquil neighborhoods of Staten Island, we'll delve into how various parts of New York State are uniquely affected by homelessness. Along the way, we'll meet individuals and families enduring the harsh realities of life without permanent shelter, while also speaking with local officials and community leaders who are working relentlessly to find solutions. How well are current government efforts addressing this issue, and what more must be done for meaningful change? This documentary will explore these questions, offering an in-depth look at the homelessness crisis and the diverse strategies being employed to tackle it. Homelessness in New York has reached its highest levels since the Great Depression of the 1930s, with over 350,000 people estimated to be without stable housing each night as of August 2024. Around 132,000 individuals are sheltered in temporary facilities, while countless others sleep on the streets or rely on the kindness of friends and strangers staying in someone else's home. Over the past 20 years, the homeless population has surged by 175%. While there was a brief 25% drop during the pandemic due to eviction moratoriums and emergency rental assistance, the crisis has since surged back, revealing the persistent nature of the issue. A staggering 71% of those in shelters are families, including nearly 4,600 children, an alarming indication of the scale of the crisis in one of the wealthiest cities in the world. The widening economic divide has only worsened the situation, leaving many struggling to survive. In this travel documentary, we'll dive into the 10 cities in New York State with the highest rates of homelessness, uncovering the distinct challenges each city faces and the approaches being put in place to tackle this escalating issue. Before we continue, we want to highlight the critical role of awareness and community engagement in tackling homelessness. Have you ever wondered how a thriving metropolis like New York can still grapple with such profound social challenges? Understanding the complexities of homelessness is the first step toward real change. How can we as a society provide more support for those in need? These are important questions to reflect on as we move forward with this documentary. Syracuse. Syracuse, while a significant city in New York State, has the smallest homeless population on this list, with around 25 to 30 people spending each night either on the streets or in shelters. Despite the relatively low numbers, homelessness in Syracuse remains a pressing issue, fueled by the local economic downturn and the scarcity of affordable housing. A notable and troubling fact is that a considerable portion of the city's homeless population consists of military veterans, highlighting the challenges many face when transitioning back to civilian life. Local authorities have introduced several initiatives such as Housing First and From Da, which offer immediate housing without any preconditions. However, the city's progress has been limited by a lack of funding and resources, especially when compared to other cities on this list. While Syracuse operates smaller-scale support programs, the local community remains deeply committed to helping those in need. Staten Island. Though Staten Island is the smallest of New York City's 5 boroughs, it's not immune to the homelessness crisis. With 216 people experiencing homelessness, the issue remains a pressing concern. The borough's lower population density may make homelessness less visible, but the need for support is just as urgent. In recent years, Staten Island has taken significant steps to combat homelessness by opening 3 new shelters that had been in the works for years. Located on Van Dorn Street, Highland Boulevard, and Tompkins Avenue, these shelters offer varying levels of support. The Van Dorn Street facility can accommodate 200 families, or around 500 individuals, while the others provide space for 50 women and 100 people respectively. In addition, the nonprofit organization People's Path plays a crucial role in offering essential services to the homeless, helping to fill the gaps where government resources fall short. Albany, the capital of New York State, is renowned for its rich history, iconic landmarks like the New York State Capitol, and its role as a hub of government and higher education. Yet, beneath its image as a beacon of progress, the city faces a troubling homelessness crisis, with approximately 750 people without stable housing. The escalating cost of living and a lack of affordable housing are major factors fueling the crisis, creating a stark contrast between Albany's economic aspirations and the hardships many of its residents endure. This growing divide underscores the increasing gap between advancement and poverty in the state's capital. In response to the growing homelessness crisis, the Albany government launched the Albany Project Hope, designed to offer swift assistance to those without stable housing. However, like many social initiatives, it is often hindered by budget limitations, reducing its effectiveness. When compared to other cities in the region, Albany's homeless population is disproportionately high for its size, especially when contrasted with smaller cities like Syracuse. Rochester. Once known as a hub of industrial and academic innovation, with companies like Kodak and the University of Rochester calling it home, Rochester now grapples with a severe homelessness crisis. Approximately 83 people in the city currently lack stable housing, highlighting the widening divide between the city's accomplishments and its social issues. Recently, homeless encampments in the area have become dangerous hotspots, with incidents like fires posing risks to nearby residents. Although local authorities have made efforts to relocate those affected into shelters, many of these initiatives have faltered due to insufficient funding and poor management. A prime example is the dismantling of Peace Village, a major encampment which was shut down without a clear plan for alternative housing, pushing many residents back onto the streets. Brooklyn. Brooklyn, known for its iconic landmarks like the Brooklyn Bridge and Prospect Park, along with its vibrant neighborhoods, is currently home to about 1,157 homeless individuals. The rising cost of living has forced many low-income residents out of their homes, contributing to the growing homelessness crisis in this renowned borough. Surprisingly, many people living on the streets hold low-wage jobs, but their incomes fall short of covering the skyrocketing rent in the city's increasingly expensive housing market. Despite efforts by local authorities to increase affordable housing, gentrification and soaring property values have made it challenging to meet the growing demand. Social tensions are rising, particularly in neighborhoods like Bensonhurst, where protests have erupted over the placement of new homeless shelters. Some residents are concerned about the potential impact these shelters may have on their communities. In Sunset Park, small business owners have reported escalating issues, including discarded needles and makeshift tents along the streets. These developments underscore the growing divide between Brooklyn's economic growth and the harsh reality of homelessness faced by many of its residents. Queens. Queens, known for its vibrant cultural diversity and immigrant communities, is now grappling with a rising homelessness crisis, with 1,219 people currently without stable housing. Despite being one of the more affluent areas of New York City, soaring rent prices have forced many working-class residents onto the streets. Alarmingly, many of Queens' homeless individuals are employed, but their earnings fall short of covering the high cost of living in the borough. Although transitional housing programs and rental assistance are in place, these initiatives are not sufficient to meet the growing demand. Community Districts 1 and 12, which host the majority of migrant shelters, have raised concerns among local residents about the rapid expansion of homeless facilities in their neighborhoods. One highly debated example is the transformation of the Wyndham Garden Hotel in Ridgewood Park into a shelter, a decision that has sparked tension with locals who feel left out of the process. Additionally, Jamaica Station has become a popular overnight refuge for homeless individuals, creating discomfort for daily commuters. These issues highlight the ongoing challenge of balancing compassion with practical solutions in Queens. Buffalo, the second largest city in New York State, known for its industrial history and proximity to Niagara Falls, is facing a growing homelessness crisis impacting 1,432 individuals. The collapse of the manufacturing sector, coupled with high unemployment rates and deteriorating housing, has left many residents without stable homes. The city's brutal winter weather worsens the situation as the homeless population spikes with seasonal cases during the colder months. Emergency shelters frequently reach their limits, forcing many individuals to endure the harsh elements without refuge. Efforts to tackle the crisis, such as dismantling homeless encampments in the downtown area, have had little success. Displaced individuals often return to the streets, revealing the shortage of long-term housing and shelter options. Buffalo's persistent struggle with homelessness mirrors a larger issue across upstate New York, where economic challenges and inadequate social safety nets leave many at risk. The Bronx. The Bronx, known for having the highest poverty rate in New York City, also faces one of the largest homeless populations with approximately 1,458 individuals without stable housing. This stark contrast is evident while the Bronx is celebrated as a cultural powerhouse, recognized as the birthplace of hip-hop and home to the first hip-hop museum. It also stands as a symbol of a worsening housing crisis. An alarming trend of generational homelessness is taking root, as many of today's homeless individuals are children of parents who also faced homelessness, creating a continuous cycle of displacement. While the Bronx has more shelters than any other borough in New York City, these facilities are often overcrowded and cannot keep pace with the rising demand. Homeless encampments frequently pop up in public spaces like parks and sidewalks, creating difficulties for nearby businesses. Despite government efforts to relocate individuals into shelters, the solutions remain insufficient as new camps emerge just as quickly as old ones are cleared, highlighting the ongoing struggle to effectively address homelessness in the borough. Manhattan, the financial and cultural heart of New York City, famous for landmarks like Times Square and its towering skyscrapers, is also home to one of the city's most visible homeless populations. Over 4,000 people are without stable housing here, a stark reminder of the significant socioeconomic divide in a borough of 1.6 million people. Homeless individuals are often seen in public spaces such as subway stations, parks, and street corners, drawing attention to the city's ongoing struggle to effectively tackle the crisis. In an effort to manage the situation, the city conducts regular sweeps to remove homeless encampments from the streets. However, these actions are more superficial than effective, providing only temporary relief while failing to address the root cause of the crisis. A striking example can be found in the tunnel near the Hudson River in Upper Manhattan, which has become an underground shanty town, littered with trash and human waste. Several individuals have created makeshift shelters with mattresses and sheets, transforming the space into a semi-permanent settlement. Local residents express frustration over blocked sidewalks and unpleasant conditions, often changing their paths to avoid these areas. Despite numerous cleanups, the homeless continue to return, highlighting the city's struggle to offer lasting solutions. New York City overview. At the top of the list is New York City, where approximately 4,140 individuals sleep on the streets, in parks, or on the subway each night. Despite operating the nation's largest homelessness response program, the issue continues to escalate due to skyrocketing living costs and growing economic inequality. Even as city officials clear encampments from major business districts and tourist hotspots, many homeless individuals quickly return to the streets, perpetuating an ongoing cycle. Additionally, the city's shelter system is overwhelmed, with more than 500 people currently relying on it for housing. While the city has made attempts to replace encampments with more permanent housing, these efforts often encounter resistance, particularly in wealthier neighborhoods where residents oppose the construction of shelters nearby. This opposition complicates the creation of much-needed housing solutions, leaving thousands of individuals without a safe place to call home. Adding another layer of complexity is the issue of mole people, a hidden group of individuals estimated to number between 5,000 and 2,500 0 who live in the city's vast network of subway tunnels and utility corridors. These underground communities, largely out of sight, often reside in extremely dangerous areas such as near live electrical tracks, highlighting the perilous nature of their existence. The presence of these underground dwellers not only represents physical displacement, but also the social invisibility that keeps them on the fringes of society. Addressing the crisis, government and community efforts. The homelessness crisis in New York State is complex, requiring a range of solutions that address both immediate needs and the deeper systemic issues at play. Government initiatives, nonprofit organizations, and community efforts all play critical roles in confronting this challenge. Local and state governments have introduced various programs aimed at reducing homelessness. One such initiative, the Housing First model, focuses on providing stable housing as a starting point to address other key issues like employment, healthcare, and education. The Albany Project Hope is another example, offering rapid intervention services to help those experiencing homelessness transition into stable living conditions. Despite their best efforts, these programs often encounter significant challenges, including limited budgets and scarce resources. The magnitude of the homelessness crisis can stretch existing support systems thin, creating gaps in service and leaving many without adequate assistance. Nonprofit organizations play a crucial role in bridging these gaps. Groups like People's Path in Staten Island offer vital services such as food, clothing, medical care, and job training. These organizations typically operate on tight budgets, relying heavily on community support and donations to continue their essential work. In Rochester, nonprofit organizations have played a vital role in meeting the immediate needs of the homeless while pushing for more lasting solutions. The dismantling of Peace Village underscored the pressing need for comprehensive plans that extend beyond temporary moves, highlighting the crucial role of collaboration between government agencies and nonprofits. Community involvement is crucial in tackling homelessness. Local residents, businesses, and volunteers play key roles in various efforts, from donating supplies to actively participating in advocacy aimed at driving policy changes. In Brooklyn, for example, small business owners in Sunset Park have raised concerns about the growing visibility of homelessness, sparking community-led discussions on how to balance economic development with social responsibility. Additionally, public awareness campaigns and educational initiatives work to destigmatize homelessness, creating a more compassionate and supportive environment for those affected. By engaging the community, cities can adopt a more inclusive approach to addressing the homelessness crisis. Educational and preventive measures. Tackling homelessness also requires educational and preventive strategies that address the root causes. Providing education and job training to homeless individuals helps empower them to achieve independence and reintegrate into society. Additionally, preventive actions like rental assistance programs and affordable housing initiatives work to lower the chances of individuals and families facing homelessness in the first place. Technological innovations. In today's world, technological advancements provide new opportunities to address homelessness. Mobile apps and online platforms can help connect homeless individuals with resources, shelters, and job opportunities more quickly. Additionally, data analytics enable governments and organizations to track trends, allocate resources efficiently, and assess the effectiveness of their initiatives. The role of mental health services. A large portion of the homeless population faces mental health issues, substance abuse, and other personal struggles. Access to mental health services is vital for helping individuals overcome these obstacles and regain stability. By combining mental health support with housing programs, a more comprehensive approach to addressing homelessness can be achieved. The importance of affordable housing. The core of the homelessness crisis lies in the shortage of affordable housing. Soaring rent prices and the limited availability of low-cost housing options push many individuals and families into homelessness. Tackling this problem demands a multifaceted approach, such as increasing affordable housing, implementing rent controls, and providing subsidies for those in need. Policy recommendations. To effectively address homelessness, policymakers must implement comprehensive strategies that cover housing, healthcare, education, and economic support. This involves increasing affordable housing by investing in the development and upkeep of housing units to meet growing demand. Strengthening support services is also essential, offering integrated care that addresses the varied needs of the homeless, including mental health services, job training, and substance abuse treatment. In addition, strengthening preventive measures through policies like eviction prevention programs and rental assistance is crucial. Building community partnerships by encouraging cooperation between government bodies, nonprofits, and local groups will create a unified approach to homelessness. Lastly, raising public awareness and educating people about the realities of homelessness can help reduce stigma and inspire more supportive actions. Conclusion. Homelessness in New York State is a complex issue that demands a comprehensive and ongoing approach. From Syracuse to Manhattan, each city faces its own set of challenges, yet they all share common struggles in tackling this crisis. Through government programs, nonprofit efforts, community involvement, and innovative solutions, progress can be made in reducing homelessness and creating stable, supportive environments for those in need. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to live without a permanent home in one of the world's most famous cities? Understanding the personal stories behind the numbers can help build empathy and inspire collective action. What more can we do to support those facing homelessness? Through our ongoing travel documentary series, we aim to highlight these crucial issues and spark meaningful change. If you found this documentary eye-opening, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth looks at the world's most urgent social issues. Your support allows us to share these important stories with a larger audience, helping create a more informed and compassionate community. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next travel documentary, where we dive into another aspect of urban life and its challenges.